I got this story from my mother-in-law, Mrs. Martin Husu, a school principal and a wonderful storyteller. This story is a story from the Fon ethnic group in Benin. Owenu hoche si gandie, wa se wenu hoye. Owenu hoche si gandie, wa se wenu hoye.
The Prince and the Orphan, a tale from Benin.
My story flies over countries and kingdoms of long ago and alights on a prince. The prince was the king's only son. All of the children before him had died, one after another. 2 months before the prince was born, the king consulted the royal diviner, and this was what he said. A male child will be born to you. His name will be a secret to him, a secret to his mother, and a secret to all your subjects. Only in this way can he live. When he grows to be a man, many women will desire his love, but only one can have it. She will be his partner. Only through their union can he fulfill his destiny. When the baby was born, the king had a secret naming ceremony with only his diviner present. The prince was named Denaga, which means one of them shall live. Never was a more handsome prince born to a king, and he grew more handsome as he grew into adulthood. He was tall and slender. His voice was deep. His eyes were bright, and he was always full of energy. His smile could bring happiness to a heart of stone. The king's subjects, however, loved him because of his kindness and the unusual wisdom which shone through his words and deeds. In addition, he was known throughout his father's kingdom as a champion of the poor and the powerless. When the prince grew to be a man, he began to feel the desire for a wife. The king decided that whoever could guess the prince's name would claim him for her husband. The good news of the king's decision spread throughout the kingdom. It excited the imaginations of 1,000 young ladies. Among these, there was an orphan named Hobami, the poorest woman ever to fall in love with a prince. She was a tall, graceful girl with long black hair and big brown eyes. Her stepmother, who had 3 daughters of her own, made Hobami work ceaselessly from early morning until late at night. Hobami's 3 stepsisters made no secret of their burning desire to marry the prince. They had definite plans for sweeping him off his feet. Their mother had ordered expensive clothes and jewelry so the sight of them would take the prince's breath away. And she planned to pay a diviner to reveal the prince's secret name. As the day of the contest drew near and the excitement reached fever pitch, Hobami's stepsisters grew more and more boastful. "From the moment the prince looks at me, he will have eyes for no one else," said one. "My smile will cast such a powerful spell on the prince that he will beg me to marry him on the spot," said another. When my turn to say the prince's name comes, my voice will sound so sweet in his ears that he will do anything to keep me by his side all the days of his life, the third sister said. The voices of Hobami's stepsisters rang in her ears as she started on one of her interminable errands. Pressing her hands to her breast, she cried, "I wish I too had a mother who could dress me up as a princess. Then my joy would know no bounds, for I would not be my stepsister's laughing stock, but their equal. I would be worthy of the prince's love." But Hobami had no one to give her a helping hand. On the day of the contest, Hobami's stepmother called her 3 daughters together and handed them the beautiful clothes and the priceless jewels she had bought especially for them. And while the 3 sisters were jumping up and down and screaming with joy, she called Hobami and gave her a bundle of rags, saying, "The king requires all the young women in the land to take part in the contest this evening. I wish you could dress up like everyone else, but this is all I could afford. You may go as soon as you complete your chores." And while Hobami was busy getting water, cleaning dishes, washing clothes, and sweeping the floor, her stepsisters washed themselves, rubbed their bodies with a fragrant ointment, and put on their makeup. Then, wearing their splendid garments and jewels, they called Hobami so she could see how beautiful they looked. "It's a pity we have to leave while you are still doing your chores, but we will put a palm branch at the crossroad so you will find your way to the palace without difficulty," they said. Then they set out for the king's palace and soon came to the crossroad. They knew that the path to the right led to the palace, but they put a palm branch across the path to the left and went on their way. At a bend in the path, they came upon an old woman, a spirit in disguise. "My children, give me something to eat, for I am starving," she pleaded, holding out her withered hands. "You witch!" one of the sisters snorted. "How dare you call me your daughter?" "My mother is far younger and much more beautiful than you, old hag," another sister hissed. "You get out of our way before I pick you up and throw you into the bush," the third sister roared. And the 3 sisters roughly pushed the old woman aside and moved on, laughing at their own remarks. The sun had vanished from the sky and darkness was slowly settling over the village when Hobami completed her final task. Quickly, she washed herself and put on the tattered clothes her stepmother had given her. Then she wrapped a few bean cakes in banana leaves to eat along the way and set out on the long journey to the king's palace. She soon came to the crossroad and stood looking, now to the left, now to the right, for the palm branch her sisters said they would put across the path leading to the palace. Suddenly, a whirlwind arose and enveloped Hobami in a thick cloud of dust. When it finally blew away, the palm branch lay across the path to the right. So Hobami turned right and went on her way. Hobami had only gone a few yards when she came upon the same old woman her stepsisters had insulted and ridiculed. The old woman stood across Hobami's path with her hands stretched out toward Hobami. "Give me something to eat, my child, for I am dying of hunger," she implored. "I do not have much, but the little I have I'll share with you," Hobami replied. She unwrapped the bean cakes she had brought with her and gave the old woman an equal share. "Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way, for I am late," Hobami said. "Where are you going so late at night?" the woman asked. "To the king's palace, to try my luck at guessing the handsome prince's name," Hobami replied. "But now that I think of it," she went on, "I haven't the foggiest idea what the prince's name is." "I know the prince's name," the old woman said, smiling gently and taking Hobami's hands in her own. "And since you have been so kind to me and given me food, I will tell you. Because all the king's children who were born before him had died in infancy, the king named the prince Denaga, which means one of them shall live." Hobami thanked the woman over and over and begged her to say more about the prince, but she vanished, leaving Hobami dazed with curiosity. When Hobami reached the royal palace, the last contestant was walking away. Her head hanging in shame, she joined the sorrowful multitude who had failed the name-guessing test. The sudden appearance of the ragged but pretty girl drew laughter and insults from all around. Hobami's three stepsisters were bitter about their own failure. They were angry that Hobami was trying to succeed where they had failed. They rushed forward and barred her way, their eyes blazing with anger, their hair standing on end. The king's diviner, who was in charge of the contest, sprang to his feet. He ordered the sisters back to their seats and commanded the crowd to be quiet. Then he motioned Hobami forward. "Do you know the name of the prince?" he asked her. "Denaga. That's his name," she said, her heart racing out of control. As she fell silent, there broke forth a roll of drums, and 1,000 exclamations of wonder and amazement went soaring to the skies. The handsome prince came out from the secret chamber where he had been confined throughout the contest. He walked toward Hobami, his arms open wide, smiling radiantly. Ashamed of their lack of kindness and fearful of Hobami's revenge, the three stepsisters and their mother fled from one village to another. But Hobami wanted no revenge and left them to their own consciences. The cruelty of Hobami's step-family became the subject of numerous songs that followed the fugitives like a curse all the days of their lives. As for Hobami, she and her husband lived a long and happy life and had many children.